Some dudes, if you ever wanted to work with the moon or know different things about the moon, this video is going to be all about moon magic and also different things that you can do with the moon. So if you would like to subscribe to my channel to know more about the moon and know different things about each moon phase. I'm going to be going over multiple different things in this video, so if I have dedicated videos on what I'm talking about, I'll be linking it above so you can know a very dedicated video on what it is specifically. And also, if you would like to know anything else about witchcraft or just different things related to the moon, you can leave it in the comments and then I'll create a whole video just about that. These are going to be the timestamps if you would like to skip ahead into the video. These are just going to be the very basic parts of the video, so if you would like to recap on something or if you would like to skip ahead, maybe you know certain knowledge, then you can just skip ahead right now. So the main phases of the moon are the new moon, the waxing moon, the waning moon, and the full moon. Now these are going to be the very basic four that most switches will go off of in the month. There are different ones that you can go by, but these are the main four that are really focused on in your practice. Also, it's a lot easier to just focus on these main four because there's certain dates for them, and also they correspond with each week of the month. So if you're focusing on the moon phases, it's a good idea to know each moon phase and also which ones go with what type of intentions or what type of manifestation you're focusing on. Each moon has its own different correspondence, and what that basically means is each phase of the moon that is currently active or that is about to come up will have a certain energy or a certain manifestation or a certain just intention towards it. If you have something that you're starting with, it's a good idea to start with the new moon because this is the moon for new beginnings, new projects, just starting things in general. That's a good way to not only amplify your energies, but also if you're focusing on something that has to grow to a certain point, it's a good idea to do this on the new moon. Next moon phase that we're going to be talking about is the waxing moon. Now this is a good moon for any sort of growth or any sort of personal growth that you're trying to do. If maybe you have a certain goal that you're trying to reach, or maybe you need a certain energy to stick with you throughout this week, this would be a good idea to do your spells or rituals on this. This is also going to just help you carry you into the other phases and just help build up your own strength whenever you are doing any sort of spells or rituals. One of the most popular moon phases, probably because it's the most prominent and the most noticeable, is the full moon. Now most witches will use this moon if they're doing anything that requires a large amount of energy, or maybe it's something that requires a lot of effort on your part to get started. It's a good idea to do these type of spells on the full moon. If you have any goals that you have accomplished throughout the moon phases or just throughout your time, the full moon is also a good time to do any sort of praising or any sort of celebration for the goals that you have achieved. This is also marked with the harvest because it is harvesting everything that you have worked towards there. So it's a good idea to just reflect on anything that you have accomplished and everything that if you haven't accomplished, it's a good idea to reflect on how you will do it during the next new moon phase. So the last phase that I'm going to be going over is the waning moon. Now the waning moon is good for letting go, doing any sort of cleansing or banishing of energies. So if you would like to, during this time of the month, you can focus on cleaning out your space or cleaning out your home. Also, just focus on cleansing out or banishing any energies that aren't serving you. So maybe this month you've worked with something new and maybe it hasn't worked for you. It's a good idea to cleanse that out of your space and also to refresh on anything that you plan to do in the future. Most of the time, if you are going to do any sort of cleansing, by the way, if you don't know what cleansing is or how to cleanse, there's a video up here. But most of the time when people do cleansing, it is just getting rid of energy or just getting rid of things that they do not need. This is a good idea to not only focus on that, but also focus on letting go. So if you have something that maybe you've been working towards and maybe you haven't been seeing that much effort in, maybe haven't been seeing that much results, it's a good idea to, at this time, let go of that energy and either it will come to you or it doesn't. There's really no point in spending your energy on something that is just holding you back. And also, if you would like to, you can also focus on recharging. I also have a video about that, but focusing on cleansing and recharging during this moon phase is a good idea to do during this moon phase. Rituals for moon magic. Now these basic rituals that you can do during the moon are mainly focused on the full and the new moon. Now something you can do on the new moon is just to write down any sort of things that you're trying to manifest. So if you have any goals that you're trying to achieve, or maybe anything that you're trying to really focus on this month, it's a good idea to do that during the new moon. Also, if you would like to do anything on the full moon, it's a good idea to do any sort of powerful spells that you really need to focus your intentions on. It'll be a lot easier to do these rituals when you are at a highest point of your energy. Also, if you would like to charge any of your crystals or make any sort of moon water, this is a good thing to do during this moon phase because it will store that energy into the crystals or the moon water, and also it will help radiate that energy whenever you are doing other spells. If you don't know what moon water is, I have a video up here all about that. But what moon water is in a nutshell is using the energies of the moon to charge some water. You can add other ingredients to the water if you would like to, but the most basic form of moon water is just water that has been charged by a specific moon phase. Most likely it will be the full moon because full moon water does work the best for other spells, but you can do it regardless of which moon phase you're talking about. Different uses for each phase of the moon. Now, each moon phase has its own different properties like I've discussed, but the spells that you can do for each individual phase really depend on what you're trying to focus on. On my socials, I really go into depth of what you can do for each individual moon phase. So if you would like to know which phase you can do for which type of spell, I have a few examples of spells in my YouTube playlist. Also, if you would just like to follow me on socials, I go over different spells that you can do during different phases. And if you would like to suggest different spells for whatever type of phase, or if you just like to request a spell in general, you can just leave it in the comments and then I will make a dedicated video talking about that specific spell, how you can do it, and also what timing to do that spell on. If you would like to keep track of the moon phases and also know when the moon phases are, I use a combination of Google Calendar and also this app right here. This app will show you the very basics of which phase is active right now. It will also show you which phases are coming up, so if you would like to plan ahead for certain spells or certain rituals, you can do that. And in addition to this, I also use Google Calendar, so I know specifically which days are each moon phase, and also I know when I can do certain spells. This is a good idea if you're planning to do a very focused spell. It's a good idea to plan it correctly. If you would like to, you can just do it right when you feel you need to, but if it's a more in-depth spell or maybe it's something you haven't done before, it's a good idea to plan it ahead so that way you can not only get the ingredients that you need for the spell or ritual, but also you know exactly when your energy will be the highest for that specific purpose. If you would like to know anything else about witchcraft or witchcraft related content, just subscribe to my channel. Also, if you would like to know more in depth about how to do spells or different rituals, you can just leave it in the comments below and I'll make full videos all about that. That's the end of the video. Have a good day, night life. Enjoy yourself and be happy.